How to handle disrespect. I've never felt disrespected and unsure on how to react, especially because it was coming from a woman and you've been taught not to hit women, not to disrespect women, and not to do anything bad to women. But you wanted to do something. You see, you didn't know whether to speak up or stay quiet. You were going to lose either way, right? You know when it hurts most? When it comes from someone that's allegedly supposed to protect and honor you. What if I told you there was a way you can make this all go away? And even better, you can stop it from happening in the first place. You see, this outcome not only transforms you, but it also transforms the outcome of your relationships. Now, if you're someone that's struggling with how to handle disrespect, this video is for you. You see, I am no stranger to how disrespect feels when it isn't handled properly. You know, you let something slide, right? In fact, disrespect is one of the biggest reasons for feuds, wars, people not getting along with each other, right? It's one of the biggest reasons. And I get why. You've created that box, someone has entered and abused the shit out of it. Excuse my French. The crap out of it. In your mind, you're thinking, am I a wallet? Did I just let this happen? Should I have said something? Should I have stayed quiet? But you're angry. You're thinking to yourself, why did I let this happen? And I'm here to tell you there's a way. There's a way for you to handle disrespect with confidence and clarity. And I guarantee you that by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how to do that. Walk away from a disrespectful scenario without your ego being destroyed by it. These are the benefits. You maintain your self-respect, your confidence, and your peace. The cure to disrespect is prevention. Do not let it get to that at all. Set your boundaries from the jump. I don't care what any internet guy's got to tell you about dealing with women. You set your boundaries from the start. Yeah? You say to them, this is the line you do not cross. I take disrespect very personal. I will walk away of this relationship if I have to. So please don't push my boundaries and stick to those words. So the cure to disrespect, number one, is making sure that you set your boundaries from the start and do not negotiate, do not let it leeway. No, the moment that disrespect happens, off. You're off. No disrespect. It's literally like an action. It's not even, there's no discussion to have. Here's the thing. We believe that we need to be aggressive. We've been told that to be aggressive, to, show them who you are, right? Raise your voice and all of that, blah, blah, blah. I'm here to tell you that's feminine. The moment you give in to your emotions, you're giving into your feminine side. Anger is an emotion. Jealousy is an emotion. You want your emotions to lead your judgment? You're being feminine. And there's no problem with that. But don't lie to yourself and act like you're the man. Or you can't be the man and then be moving feminine. That's not when it matters. Not when your head should be in charge of things. You're letting your emotions control instead. Right? What do you do then? Stay calm. Take a deep breath. This gives you the time to process what's just happened and assess the best course of action. I remember when I was approached by someone, and this happens all the time, right? Especially driving in London. It's not major, and probably should talk about women this, but I can't relate to it because I applied the rule number one, right? But I also saw, I don't want to speak on it too much, but I grew up in a toxic environment. And that's when I knew I will never let it get to this. I will never, ever let it get to this. You see, disrespect? No. Someone raising their voice at me? Never. Never, don't do it. And this is the problem. I never allowed it to get to him because it scarred me so much as a kid that I knew I wanted no part in it as an adult. So what do you do then? What you do is you make sure that look, this is my personal take. You don't have to take this on. But you see, when the lines get blurry, it's easy for you to jump onto the other side. You're allowed to scream at each other. You're allowed to call each other names. Why can't you do it when you're angry? Why can't something slip up when you're angry? But you see, when you set the boundaries so clear, I promise you, I don't call my wife no names. I didn't call none of my girlfriends any names. And it's not because they're these amazing people. No. I just said disrespect. You're coming nowhere near me in a relationship. Whilst I was talking stage. Okay. You disrespect me, I'm gone. There's no in between, there's no coming back. Listen, guys, you don't want disrespect. You need to make sure that, forget the lady, you need to declare war to disrespect. You need to say to disrespect, I want no part in whatever you've got to say or do to me. Because you're defenseless. What do you do if a woman starts calling you names? What do you do when a girl starts calling you out? What can you do? Well, you're gonna beat her up. You're gonna give in to your feminine emotions. You can't do that. You can't. And it's not because let me make it very simple. You give in to your emotions. You're no longer a man. No. You're no longer a man. You give in to your emotions, even when it looks like, you see, when it actually comes to the masculine and feminine energy, when it comes to the actual disrespect or science behind it, when you enter disrespect and you react to it, it's two women fighting each other. Is that what you want? You've got to maintain your frame. That's why I say to guys, never argue with a woman. You need to pump the brakes way before it gets any sort of heated. You see, the moment it gets to that level is because you allowed it to get there. You did not set the boundaries from the start. When she was calling you names, you didn't react. So the temperature kept going up. It kept going up. It kept going up. It kept going up. Unto the point where there was no return. And you see, what I'm saying to you guys is rule 1 is so important. Stay in those parameters. Hey, I don't take no names. Hey, listen, we can talk. You can be respectful about it. I promise you, the moment you get too hasty, too intense about it, you lose control. Right? It's like when, right, you're putting the food in the microwave. You want to have some sort, you want to have your nice warm meal, right? If you keep it in the microwave for too long, that meal will burn out. What makes it nice is the microwave. You don't blame the microwave. You blame the temperature you put it on. This is why it's so key for you to remain calm at all times. Do not let yourself get out of control, because guess what? You can't control what's on the outside, but you can control what's on the inside. You can't control your temperature. You see, the moment you turn the heat too high and you allow yourself to lose control, guess what? It goes sour and it's on you. Use assertive communication. That's number 2. You see, simple statements like, I feel disrespected. Because of this, I no longer want to continue with this conversation. You've crossed the line. And because you've crossed the line, I want no part in this conversation. Because I'm going to say some things I'm going to regret, and I'd rather not say them. Show control with assertiveness. You see, it all stems down to standing your ground and making sure that you separate the entity from disrespect. You see, when when the person becomes disrespect, number 1, you don't tolerate it, but number 2, you go into this disrespect framework that allows you to troubleshoot accordingly. You see, when I can sense a conversation going left, here's what I do. Listen, I'm not going to have you disrespect me. Okay? So here's what we're going to do instead. We can carry on this conversation in a respectful manner, or we can call it dead now, because I'm not I'm not here for it. You can speak to yourself if you want to, but if you want me to be involved in this conversation, we're gonna have to listen to each other. So what's it gonna be? And that approach allows the person, angry or not, to understand one thing. They can talk to themselves or come into my world. And in my world, we speak respectfully. Respectfully. Know your worth. Okay? Now, again, if you haven't set the boundaries from the start, this is going to be very difficult. Because my mom taught me this, alright? You give a girl a piece of grass, she'll take the whole motherfucking pitch. They'll take the whole pitch, my boy. Right? They'll take the whole pitch. So know your worth. And if you haven't set those boundaries, make it clear that this is something that's very important to you. Raise it in a very calm way. It doesn't need to be reinforced, but make sure that it's clear. You see, when you don't set those boundaries, how are you going to know when she's gone outside? How is she going to know when she's gone outside? Especially if you don't have the frame. You see, it's either you set those boundaries or she knows those boundaries because of how you carry yourself. But if you have no boundaries, because you're willing to take anything, how is she going to know that she disrespected you? Don't tolerate behavior that undermines your worth. And I think this is so important and key. You need to show whoever is disrespecting you that you're willing to walk away. Protect your self-worth. Keep it intact. Yeah? Do not jeopardize your self-worth for the sake of trying to save something. If they disrespect you, they don't want to save it. And I say this in the nicest way. And you know what? The reason why I'm so against disrespect is because, like I said, I've seen it growing up. And I don't want to go into too much detail, right? But I've seen it growing up. And I saw what it does to men. I saw what it does to women. And this is why it's so key for you to stay there. Walk away from it as far as possible. Do not go anywhere near it. If you've got children, they're going to see that. Forget you, if you've got children, protect your children from seeing that. Number 4, remove yourself if needed. I remember there was a time again where, road rage. We got the driver, he's cut through and he's, I'm laughing. Because you can't get to me, right? But he's persistent. He's like, I want to get a reaction out of this guy. So I pulled the window down and I speak to him. I was like, what's going on? He's like, bro, you cut me off. And I was like, did you not do that first? And then he was quiet because he was expecting me to respond back to his agginess and anger and frustration. But I was very calm. I was like, listen, you done it first. I showed him that I was going to stand up for myself. But at the same time, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So always be ready to disarm the person. You see, one thing I learned in fighting is that the real fighters are the calm ones. Because they understand that the first fight is within. And if you can get a reaction out of me, you've already won the battle. As a fighter, you can get a reaction out of someone, they are weak. A fighter that can react to what you've said is weak. You see, a fighter before losing control will have to take a sustainable amount of beats. But guess what? You don't have to be a fighter to handle that to create that same perception or environment about yourself. Learn how to fight, don't get me wrong. Because if push comes to shove, you need to be able to know that you can defend yourself. Right? And I'm not saying this because you want to this is what I'm saying. Fighting is always for self-defense. If you're using it to beat up people, again, not sure what the benefit is unless you're a professional fighter, other than potentially going to jail. But I just want to make that clear just in case some people are stupid enough to take this on as something I didn't say. But my point here is very simple, right? Make it very clear that there's nothing they can do to trigger your emotions. That you're that strong, that whatever they're saying is like, mate, sorry, you're speaking to the wrong person, talk to the wall. Can't get me to react to what you're saying. Words that I can't see will come and move me out of my chair. Nah, sorry, wrong person. So don't let words get you to react. Don't let actions get you to react. Always respond. Always respond. Number 4, like I said here, is remove yourself if needed. Right? If you can't disarm, remove yourself from the situation. Walk away. By the way, if that person is still chasing you after you've walked away, and it's not a woman. This is the man to woman dynamics. But if it's not a woman, if it's man to man, because obviously sometimes men and men disrespect each other, right? If it is a man, different advice. Sorry. Whoever punches first gets hit. That's how I see it. You throw a punch, sorry, I gotta defend myself. That's if it's man to man. If it's man to woman, then personally, my personal advice is, like I said, I have never been there, and I don't think I ever will, because I created a fortress. But if I was to ever get there, I am making sure that that woman can't slap me. Why? Because I am putting her arms down or putting her in submission. I'm saying, I'm not moving until you calm down. There's no need for us to fight. Right? I'm not attacking her, but I'm definitely protecting myself, because I'm not about to get slapped for nothing. Right? This is not fighting back, by the way. It's just making it clear. You're diffusing the situation. So when I was working in a mental institution, right, and we had a patient that lost temper, there's simple ways. There's like submissions, pressure points where you can just, imagine this is their hand down, and then shoulder, and then you lock in so that they can't move their hand. There's different ways, but that's probably one of them. But you basically just want to make sure that you grab the joints and just say, hey, relax, until they do. And then after that, you make sure you walk away from that situation. You see, this is so messy. It's so messy for it to get violent. And this is why I say I blame men for allowing it to get to that stage. It's not women. Because this is the thing, the equation is very simple. Masculine men, feminine women. Feminine women, feminine men, masculine women. Right? You are going to opposites attract. So the more masculine you are, the more feminine she is, but the more in control she is too, right? Because please, prevention is better than cure. And this is my takeaway from this video. Prevention is better than cure. Do not even let voices to be raised around you. And I'm saying that, and I'm not saying something that I'm not doing myself. Me and my wife, and any sort of relationship I ever had, you raise your voice, we're done. There's nothing for us to discuss. We're either going to have a conversation, or when you calm down, we can talk. Until then, you're not raising your voice at me. It's not happening. And if you can't cooperate with that, if you feel like this is something that doesn't work for you, that's completely fine by me. Kumbaya, hasta la vista, see you later, arrivederci, bye-bye, whatever you want to call it. My peace isn't worth this type of nonsense. It's not my fault your parents didn't raise you right. But guess what? We talk or you walk. It's that simple. Before you leave a situation feeling drained, frustrated, or powerless, I want you to try this, because I promise you, this is the best way for you to walk away with empowerment, self-respect, and protection towards your dignity. We got it wrong. It's not about being right. Some of us are willing to sacrifice peace in order for us to be right, and it's never about being right. It doesn't work in any other sector. How can you be right when everything's opinionated? There's facts, and facts are not right or wrong. They're just facts. So if you want your opinion to be right, then you got some questions to ask yourself. Why is it that an opinion needs to be right? It could be wrong too. It's an opinion. That's the whole point of the opinion. It can be good or bad. So learn how to listen, to communicate. Yes, there are some opinions that are then proven to be facts, but allow them to be facts before making your statement. Because if they're not facts, then they're just opinions. So why are you defending an opinion? An opinion is an object towards something. It doesn't represent you, right? So it's never about being right, but it's about maintaining the peace. It's about communicating in a way where your inner peace isn't compromised. It's about communicating in a way that allows your inner confidence to be boosted, and so does theirs. It's about creating an environment where she can respect you in your masculine entity and you can respect her in her feminine energy. And listen, let me say this. When it comes to understanding or having difficult conversations, create a frame where this conversation can be had. Again, take time to think things through. If you know that conversation is going to trigger you guys into having a serious conversation or having a serious disagreement, say it first, right? I'll give you a concept I learned from This Is All of Us. Don't question my questions because they flipping work. Anyways, This Is All of Us. And what they do is, they do this. It's called piggyback, right? The person gets on the back of the partner and then they share, this is a difficult conversation I want to have with you, but I really hope that you can allow me to speak freely without feeling judged. Because it takes a lot. And in that environment, the most important thing is transparency. The most important thing is the ability to speak up so that they can carry on speaking up about things that they're uncomfortable with. And creating a safe environment where you guys can communicate difficult things. Because if you don't have that and you're walking on eggshells, think about it this way. Don't compare it to what they've actually done. Compare it to you guys walking on eggshells. And another thing, when you compare something, always look for the thing that's less than the thing you're comparing it to. You're always going to be grateful. When you compare it to something that's more to, you're always going to be ungrateful. Because you're going to think, oh, why can't I do that? Right? You're eating, for instance. You're going to the restaurant. Oh, but why can't we go to the 5-star restaurant? What about the people that starved today? I'm grateful I'm able to go to the restaurant. See how that works? How do we implement these strategies? Though I heard you and understand, create the prevention is better than cure. What do I do next? How do you handle disrespect? I want to hear from you. Because the truth of the matter is, my ideal is prevention, and prevention is better than cure. And now for you to make sure that you stay as far away from disrespect, you need to be willing to walk away from it if need be. And they need to be aware of that. That your last straw is disrespect. You can take disagreements, you can take judgment, you can take criticism, but disrespect, oh, that's where you draw the line. Cheating, disrespect. Lying, disrespect. No. I say lying is disrespect, but you get the gist, right? You draw the line for your disrespect, things that you're willing to walk away with, and then walk away if need be. But do not tolerate, because you will continue to have access. Wherever you have access to is because you tolerate it. Wherever you have access to, I'm sorry to tell you the truth, you gave it access because you tolerate it. You may hate it, but you tolerate it. I hope this has helped someone. You see, handling disrespect isn't about changing others. It's about protecting yourself from it. And the best way for you to protect yourself from it is by making your boundaries as clear as light. And deaden any sort of signs of it. Do not escape. You in particular, as a guy, don't ever, you can sense the conversation's going left, don't react. It's better for you to be quiet and say, I need time to think about what this is about. Or I need time to clear my head before I respond to this. Give yourself time and it's hard, I know. Because sometimes they'll be triggering you. But it's about you setting the frame. Once you set the frame, I promise you, you're gonna stay in control of your emotions. Because that's the only thing you can control. You can't control the reactions. But what you can control is, listen, you do this. This is the outcome. If that's the outcome you want, then feel free to go ahead and do whatever it is you want to do. Right? You're not controlling, but you're letting them know that this is, listen, if you was to think of the first job you had, right? And they offered you a specific salary. If someone was to come to you today and say, hey, listen, I've got a job for you, and it's the exact same amount of your first job, you're gonna say, hell no, absolutely. That, right? That's the same approach you should have towards tolerating anyone that's disrespecting you. Hell no. I am bigger than that. I am not gonna have you calling me names, disrespecting my name for any sort of sugar wealth. I'm sorry, that's not what I do. That's not in me. There's plenty of guys. Plenty of guys ain't gonna watch this, but you are. So don't be one of those guys. You are privileged to know that you're one of the guys that doesn't have to tolerate it. And I'm telling you this because it worked for me. I promise you. I sense disrespect. I'm saying, listen, let's stop this there before it gets any worse. I'm offering a 12-week coaching program where I teach men how to build clarity, confidence, and understand female nature so that they can build better relationships. Now, if this is something you're interested in, the link is in the description. By the end of this 12-week period, if you're happy for us to go ahead and do more other stuff, more than happy to do so. But if this is something you're seriously struggling with, I highly recommend we definitely book a free strategy call where I can see whether I can assist you in your current situation. If this video has helped you, I ask one thing and one thing only. It's not one thing actually. Like, share and subscribe. And drop a comment below. I want to know what your relationship with disrespect is. Okay? And as always, I'm watching from afar, and like Iman Ghazi says, I'm rooting for you. Peace.